right here is, you'll never make it there
Yeah.
unless you have a good team.
Great. So what I would like to know is, I'm not sure if your AI engine can see into the future, but I'm going to ask you, where do you see AI in the next 5 years? Um, in terms of humanity, in terms of business, just sort of your sort of high level view in terms of the 5 year future from now.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, AI is obviously a broad term and it covers a whole range of stuff. But essentially, I think AI will definitely become more prominent in our lives across every industry, from, home cleaning to healthcare to even education. So essentially, I see AI going two ways. You can either replace people or give people the opportunity for personal and professional development.
Yes.
So I see being AI used to create a connected world, which is obviously that's what I'm working towards. So this can make life easier to allow people to have equal access to opportunities. So, for
Yes.
example, if you're using our botanical agent and say a fan breaks in your growing environment, it can send a message to your 3D printing agent to print you a new one. And that's very important for giving consumers and stuff right to repair and things back. And it just makes things easier where you're not reliant and losing that time to go on and order the part and wait for it to come and all the rest of it. So our overall aim is obviously to create these personalized assistants that grow with you from childhood to adulthood. So providing your assistance when and where you need it. So whether you're a child learning how to skateboard or, you're old and you're coping with dementia, you will have something that's there to aid and assist you.
Yes. Yes.
In agriculture, I guess specifically, I see the world of AI moving to benefit farmers. Like farmers are tied up in so much legislation and they're locked into like paid farm hardware. So autonomous machines and connected systems, there's definitely going to lead to higher yields, productivity, and less risk for the farmers themselves, while giving them, like I said, the power to fix their own machines on site and stuff. So, especially, I think I mentioned legislation there, and there's lots of great applications and stuff on the way. Like there's one called Reap by Farming Carbon that we're currently developing, and it's been used to aid farmers with the paperwork and documentation side of things. It gives them a central system to provide the information. Eventually, you'll be able to connect with hardware around the forms around their farms to actually submit that. It just makes the whole process easier.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, the world of AI, presents so much opportunity, but as we were discussing a bit earlier, I think the future of it will come down to people,
Mm,
and how
mm.
they embrace and use the technology. Like we need to be making ethical choices, not easy choices. And I guess we need to do this by asking, why we're using these systems and how they actually work. I don't think I
Mm,
think
mm.
I think a lot of people want to hide their heads in the sand because AI can be complicated and it's all math and all the rest of it. But unless we take the time to understand what these systems actually do, you're going to have very few companies actually creating these systems rather than the skills that we actually need. Like I said, that domain expertise needs to
Yes. Yes.
remain in the solutions that we're creating. And if we keep using big companies, they're going to go to a whole bunch of people that are going to label the data based on a PDF. They don't
Yep.
really have
Yep.
the expertise. Where if you take a doctor who take illnesses or something like that, diseases, they have a lot of overlapping things, and with their experience, they can tell something is cancer from something else. And I think that information needs to be there to join those correlations in between those AI solutions. So if we're just relying on a whole bunch of people in a building where their job is to label data, then we're not going to get the best solutions for society. So I guess people need to come together and learn what it is, and that's what we do as a company. We'll work with people to actually teach them how to label their own data and set up their own
Yes.
pipelines and stuff to continue training and evolve with their business, opposed to, yeah, I guess just using a preset solution and having to
Yes.
replace it
Default.
in a number of years. It's putting that ethics, I guess, back into what you're doing, so everyone
Mm, mm.
benefits. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting the example that you gave around some machine breaking, and then it orders it and gets it printed. I just want to tell you, being from South Africa, Amazon only launched in South Africa this week.
What?
Yes. So I guess we have I think there's so much opportunities in Africa for AI in agriculture specifically. But I guess that next step is also going to take a bit. But from a data management perspective, giving farmers the right information, helping them with that knowledge, I think there's massive opportunities for AI in agriculture in Africa. I wanted to
I mean, I
ask
didn't
you.
think you guys have Amazon. That's completely crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I know the delays we get just from being in Northern Ireland and the Brexit thing with hardware. It can add days on, but I can't imagine
Yes.
not having the ability at all. So something like that would really help. Obviously, you guys a more connected system, and I guess that's one of the benefits of something like our botanical agent, that it really does help remote kind of things, like
Yes.
whether you're out
Yes.
in the desert or whether you're in the ocean or whether you're in space, it doesn't really matter. It's there to aid people. But I do want to emphasize that it is a tool to aid, not replace. Human
Yes. Yes.
insights are the most invaluable part of the entire system. You need to be feeding that in. So yeah.
You sound very positive, so I'm not going to ask you if AI is going to take us to to a dystopian or utopian world in the future. So I'm going to sort of end off with my last question, and it's about gaming. So
Yeah.
a lot of games have these bots or this non-player characters,
Yep.
and I've recently seen some of these NPCs um, being driven by AI, and they can start getting upset over time because they've got some memory, etc. So, just in terms of gaming, how do you see the impact of AI in gaming going forward?
Oh, I'm glad you asked me this, because I've actually had many conversations about it with my co-founder, because we're obviously interested in playing games and stuff. And we had the idea that the characters would individually learn and stuff. So each
Yes.
of the characters would learn based on your own skill, but then you'll also be able to open up the ability to have games where, like if there's fire, your character's going to learn that that's bad and stuff like that. So you can face, different skills. So you could almost be like the god of a world,
Yes.
acting out with all these different characters. So there's, in terms of, even the video quality and stuff, you've seen what AI and stuff has done with a lot of games over the last few years. But there's so much to it, taking real objects and stuff and putting them in there. But I think the real thing will be the personalization of it. Like,
Yes.
I don't play games the same way that Matt plays games. He definitely likes more shooting and, you know, there's just different areas that we prefer and stuff. So for the ability for games and stuff to change as you're playing them, that
Yes.
isn't baked into the actual storyline or the code or the development, that, you have one story and then that story can be personalized. So whether you're a child, it could be some farm fun game, but that same game could be a horror game somewhere else. You
Yes.
could
Yes.
change each of them as you go. And I think, yeah, just things will get more personalized. And I think
Yes.
we'll be able to add in more senses and stuff into things. Like, when you're walking through things, maybe you'll be able to smell it one day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
and, and I think all that stuff is very exciting. I mean, there's, like I said, there's a lot of growth that could happen in AI, and especially in games specifically. It's just one
Yes.
area of it. But from the game experience itself to creating the game, you could do something like Wally to sketch something. You could sketch a comic and turn that into a game. So anyone could,
Mm-hmm.
create something and get a prototype off the ground. So you're not looking for an organization to fund your one game. I think a lot of selection on things is, there's definitely less these days, because investors pick certain types of games and all the rest of it. And then you get open source games that do really well, up until they hit
Yes.
development locks and all the rest of it. So having something that's there as well that can help these people create these games without these massive teams behind them, it's just going to give everybody more choice and variability and stuff. Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah, I guess if you look at these simulation games, farming simulation, you can get your bio agent to play and win some simulation games. Emma, it's
Yeah, it
been
would do
very
really
nice
well.
speaking to you.
It's been lovely speaking to you too, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And I love the color of your background because it's similar to Flame Station, the purple.
The purples, it's royal. That's what that means.
Okay.
Premium.
Thanks a lot for your time. We'll speak again. Thanks, Emma.
No problem. Thank you.